Hello friends, my name is Renuka. Welcome back to my channel, and today we are making these two cards, and this is the mermaid stamp from the Lawn Fawn. This stamp is quite a while in a market. I think last year they launched this, and today I'm gonna make two cards and using little bit of pattern papers with it. The products I'm using in making this card is the part of scrapping for lace, flavor of the month kit, and that was the really awesome kit. If you didn't see the unboxing video or the previous video what I made with this kit, I suggest you go ahead and do that before watching this. So let's start for today's card, and I am today making little bit bigger card. It is like 5.5 by 5.5 card, and for that I'm using the Stitch Heart die cut out. I'm kind of making frame with this pattern paper, and I'm just choosing everything in like shades of pink, purple and red, and I will just save those pieces also. Maybe I can use them in a different projects. So after this I will cut out my card base. Now here my card base is 5.5 by 5.5, so I just go 1/4 inch less, so I did get a bigger matting there on my card base, and I'll stick that, and then I will see that how everything gonna look and fit in nicely. So I'm using here sea green color cardstock for the card base. Now I decided to use some distress inks, so I'm using, I think, warm lipstick. I don't know. So I just add more and more colors, same as the pattern paper I have. I'm just kind of pulling those colors from the pattern papers. Sometimes I go ahead and choose more darker colors, so that way it looks really nice. I really love to add colors on the pattern paper. In that way you can make them very unique, and now you can see that it is looking like, after adding that mermaid lagoon color, it's looking really nice. And each time I'm kind of wiping the surface with the rag, cause they're having tendency, the distress inks are putting pigmentings kind of thing, and they put sit on desk, so I just don't want to ruin the cardstock. After that I'm using Martha Sweetheart board, and I'm just scoring it using bone folder, again adding little bit of ink, and then this is, I just want to add the frame on it, and then I'm just wiping off the excess glue there, and then I decided to add the acetate there. So here I am just using my ATG glue gun to put some glue there, and I'll put the acetate. Now I'm here seeing that the acetate is okay with me or not, the size of acetate, because it's quite a big heart, but yeah, the acetate gonna fit really nicely, and it is, you can emboss this as acetate, but somehow I didn't do that, but I really like that, and I'll link the acetate in the description box. Then I again add the another frame on that acetate. So this completes the first panel. Now I'm just coloring those, nothing fancy. I'm using here Spectrum Nori pens, and I'll speed up the process that how I color them, and most of the times I use darks and mid tones and the lightest color. Sometimes I mix match the color. Now here you can see that I'm just picking the different names of the colors, putting little bit highlight on her head, and then I'm adding another colors there. Sometimes if you don't like the colors, you can add more colors. My idea is here is kind of making her red head, but I don't want to make her like totally red one. I want kind of pink and orange color in there, so kind of little bit of different shade. It's not total red. Then adding just little bit of colors on her dress, and I'm just kind of putting the FS32 on all over her body to get more shades, and then I will add FS6. I don't have a Spectrum nor Marcus the whole bunch of set, so whenever I need it I mix them the colors. And the cheapest way to buy this is on the consumer craft, cause I'm searching for the deals always, and I think there you got them a very cheap price. So if you are buying interested in them, you don't have copex, you can go ahead with that. I don't have copex. I've thought it little bit costly for me, so I just use these alcohol markers. And yeah, and now soon I'll kind of making a video where I will share the two videos. First is that how to select your card kit, and second is that how to get more out of your money, like more craft supplies, and where you can buy, because I do lots of searching before I purchase the product, and I really want to share that with you. So if someone can um, make a sense for someone, and someone can just follow me and they want to do the same way I do. So anyway, these are some colors. I'm putting some colors, brown shades on his head, and again for tail I'm using TB2. It's a shade of kind of a bluish purplish color, and I already have the markers chart with me, but still whenever I'm putting those markers all together, I just have a tendency to scrap little bit of color on the rough paper. Most of the times I use the deck it out one, the leftover of that. Now I'm adding here a Winkazella pen to add more glitter to them, and then here I'm kind of putting all the things together, that how they're gonna look together. So I already colored these jellyfishes, and some of them I didn't color. I already stamped some of the sea grass and weeds with the pigmentings, and I'm just kind of putting them. Before putting them around, I just put one pencil mark big heart all around it, so I can get an idea that how you're gonna look in that heart. But you can put here means you don't have to put the heart shape. You can make this card as a full shaker. That also a nice idea to do. I just decided that I'll do that, and cause I want to add that sentiment, we mermaid for each other. And yeah, now you can see that the whole things kind of turn out really nicely. And I use some of the jelly and starfishes, and those are from also the lawn fawn stamp. And then I will add all of those. Most of the times I stamp images and tag it out them, and then according to my need I color them, because most of the times I pick the colors I want to use with the pattern papers or the theme, or maybe the mood what I want to color that time. So yeah, that's kind of fun thing, right? The procedure is also a fun thing. You don't have to stress about the things. You should enjoy whatever you are making. So I'm kind of always enjoying the things. It is kind of relaxing time for me. I do all my work in a night time. Yeah, in a night time after 10 or 11 o'clock. Yeah, I'm doing lots of things in night, because day I'm totally busy with my baby and my home and everything else is going on. I don't have time to do this kind of stuff. But yeah, this kind of stuff inspire me in life to go ahead and refresh me. So I always pick those kind of happy colors, and yeah, something like that. I hope that makes sense. And then I just want to add the sentiment with the two colors, so I just stamp first of all the mermaid. And memento inks are really nice, the nice juicy pigments inks to do these kind of stuffs. And I always add color from the pigment inks. Just the main thing you have to remember when you're adding pigment inks, that you need some kind of time to dry them. And yeah, sometimes I'm in so hurry that I just smudge off the things. Anyway, I want to add little bit of white there, because everything has a white border all around the images and the things. So I just pull out my white gel pen, and this is Uniball white gel pen, and I'm adding the stitch details all around it. This time I'm not going like I'm using the Tim Hole scales, but you can use just like that. You don't have to use scale. You can just roughly put those dots all around. And then I'll just go ahead and put that thing on the background, but that didn't work after I put all the things together. But yeah, anyways, so after this I'm just putting the foam tape here to put my shakers inside. And this card kit, the Scrapping for Less, my monthly flavor card kit, came in a really nice shaker mix, and I really love that you don't have to see the matching things, the all the things gonna match really perfectly and nicely. So I'm gonna use that a little bit of mix, but at the same time I have the sea beads which I want to use. This shaker card I don't want to put no kind of bulky thing, so I just put a one layer of the foam tape. I'm not doubling the foam tape here. Then I'll put little bit of sea beads there in shades of pink, purple and white, and some of the stars from my stash, and then I decided to stick the whole thing together. So I put little bit of glossy accent, so just because of that those gonna stick a little bit on that mermaid and there. But believe me, yeah, you need some time to try all the things. Don't make some hurry, just I made that. Now for jumping over the second card, here I'm using the Spectrum Aqua markers having the large brush tip. I'm kind of making the waves there. I already decked out this watercolor panel with the Lawn Fawn new wave die, and I deck it out that twice, and somehow I missed one thing. I didn't line up that, but I don't want to just throw that panel. I'm just went ahead and used that, and now I'm putting some water and mixing all the colors. And in this card I'm kind of making the small focal point with that sea image with that, and then I put all the things around that panel. So I'm using the small critters like the jellyfish, the sea fish, the seahorse, some that mermaid, and kind of when I made this card in my mind, I'm some kind of reminding the Ariel, if you watch that show. And yeah, it's quite a long ago, but yeah, she's really beautiful and having red hair, and she has her father having that kind of a weapon in his hand, kind of a rod which I'm putting in her hand. So yeah, everything is something like that. Then I just want to match more green, and I'm adding more textures by dropping the dots, and all these things gonna really work nice. And I just color those weeds, but somehow I don't like afterwards, so I didn't use them. And so after coloring all those images, I decided to make some kind of placement of all those things, and I colored that rock and everything else, and nothing fancy, using a very quick and easy way of coloring. Most of the times when I don't have the in-between shade, the middle tone shade, I only have darks and lights, I just put the darker marker in my left hand because I am a right hander, and pick the lighter marker from the darker marker, little bit of shade. I hope that makes sense. And it's a very easy technique to get more colors and more out of your paints, and they won't contaminate your paints or something like that. If you feel that, just scrub your pen on the paper. I learned this trick from Jennifer McBayer, I think. Yeah, somehow I saw that thing quite a while ago. Now I'm adding the tiara and putting her little bit of gold in there, and coloring all the things, those seahorses. And I when I made this card, I have back of mind the way of coloring I want to do and things putting all together. I like that sea green and green and bluish color of the sea in my mind. So I already choose one pattern paper which kind of matching and putting the things all together. It's having that shades what I choose for the dress of the mermaid. So all things gonna put very nicely together, and these small shells and the small things. And this lawn font, I have that kind of tendency that you can put the things inside those small waves, so I'm gonna use that also. And now you can see that I put those grass there, but I didn't like that, so I stamped some of them more there. Now here I went just out of the focus, yeah, I know that, but I'm creating kind of sand bed to put that rock on it. and I'm not using any kind of stamp for that. I just draw one line with the Sharpie, put some dots, and then again adding colors with the same way I did for that rock. And I want that little bit of white line all around, so I just fuzzy cut out the thing. Now the ripping the cardstock and putting things, yeah, this kind of things I do a lot. Yeah, don't freak out. Yeah, I love to do that. Sometimes I have something in my mind and that plan didn't work out for me, so I did a different way. Now you can see that the second time I die cut out those are not aligned properly, but still that gonna work, cause I will put some kind of critters and creatures, so it's not gonna focal point. The focal point is mermaid here, and this is the cardstock I'm talking about. And now you can see that all the card things and the colors are gonna nice all together. And this cardstock is from Prima, the watercolor cardstock from Prima, and I really like that it's more thicker and nicer, and it takes more water. So whenever I'm putting lots and lots of water, I probably not use the Bristol, I use this one. And then I just put 1 centimeter there, see you soon, which also came in a kit. And then I'm going just a little bit out of that frame and adding some of the things which kind of going out with that watercolor panel. And those green kind of, I don't think that seagrass or some kind of things are going upwards. And I'll put all the things together, and then I'll cut out the card base here, cause sometimes my card base are a little bit bigger or smaller, and according to that I color and change the thing. So after this I will put the all the card together, and then I decided to add the sentiment here. And this one is see you soon sentiment. I choose two Memento ink colors, blue and green, to stamp this sentiment. I'm using Misty because this is the watercolor paper and I want to stamp it like twice or thrice. And then I just want to adhere this panel to the main card base. Then I decided to make it little bit frame, so I'm choosing the color for that frame. And I don't know which green I like it, so I'm just go ahead with a couple of green colors there. And I'm just kind of seeing that which color I want, and then I stick to one, and then I just adhere that. Sorry, my head is there. And then I just cut out the excess paper to make it little bit thinner frame, making everything smoother and nicer all around. And then sticking this whole panel in front of the top folding landscape card base. Now these sequins came in the kit. Now I want one more seagrass. I feel that there is something blank, so I just stamp out that, die cut out it, and add couple of them elements in that side also, so it kind of balance the card. And then I just put those bubbles with the white pigment ink. I always do that, and sometimes though they didn't stamp perfectly, but still they have that kind of effect when you put the glossy accent, and this kind of things gonna work really nicely. Then I'm adding a little bit of sequins, and now you can see that the sequence is already matching with the colors of the card, so everything gonna look really nicely all together. And then I'm using glossy accent to put all the things, and just add little more drops just with the glossy accent to get kind of dewdrop effect there, putting little bit of drops on those eyes of the seahorses. So I hope you like both of the projects, you got some kind of inspiration. You can follow me on the social media. At the same time, if you want to watch more cards in this series, you can went to my channel and see that how I made with this kit. You can see the unboxing where you can see all the products. And so until the next crafty project, have a crafty life. Bye bye.